And welcome to Healthcare Sucks. Hope you had a good Easter, guys. Uh, Let it behold me bring some news out there on things that need to be brought to attention. But if you don't want to watch this till tomorrow, you can always put it on the back burner or watch it tomorrow with your coffee. I don't want to be Debbie Down. So I do wish you all happy Easter, and hopefully you are having a good Easter dinner and thanking the Lord for all the good things that we are doing and we have, not the things we don't have, and appreciating that the Lord gave His only Son and was resurrected, and this was a special day. Now, on the kids' side, it's a good day for the Easter Bunny to come, everybody, and I'm sure we all enjoyed that too, adult boys and girls. So hopefully you were good and you got some Easter stuff. I know you all did, because you've all been watching Healthcare Sucks, so you're up on it. Okay, so what I want to draw attention to real quick is, first of all, the suicide rate has not been addressed at all. It's like all of a sudden there's no suicides going on. So I went and I looked and I looked and I looked. I mean, literally, I found a couple little things on it. So it comes to my attention that when all of a sudden there is something that's not going on that went on every day prior to this outbreak, that they're covering it up. So I found some things on that. We'll share on that. Um, the other big thing, they're covering the crime, guys. Any crime stuff you get, send it to me, and I'll try to run with it. Um, but I'm in our area in Oregon and throughout different cities. I've got different people that have sent me some messages saying the crime is actually going on. Obviously, nobody, just all the crime did not stop, guys. And the really hardcore criminals, this isn't going to keep them in the house. Who are we kidding? I mean, so amongst everything else, there's like several things they're lying to us. It seems to be, again, not to keep repeating the same old story, and I think you all know this. There's more to this, guys. There just is more to them locking us down. China's having a second wave. We're going to cover that in this video or the next tonight. They're trying to blame it on people returning over there that's bringing it back. Well, yeah, you think? It's called reinfecting. It's also called carriers. Some people are going to not show the symptoms, or maybe even had it and now that they're better, and then they're around and they're infecting other people too. But that's another point that's not talked about. And then off the cuff, we've got Fetchy or whatever you want to call the little weasel guy, squiggly guy, Trump's little pet. Counteracting everything the president says at some point. And it's almost like nuts. When you watch the president, I went back and I watched several of the meetings, including some new ones, and he jumps up and says exactly kind of the opposite thing or corrects the president. It brought just a wave of thought, okay? If all the presidents prior to President Trump, okay, how many times did people who were on his president's team, or people who were at a meeting, or people who were around the president get up and correct him, not just once, but over and over and over? And how many times have the media throughout this president's presidency just been unruly and just obnoxious and out of control? These are things that, if you go back and you look at some of the other presidents, we didn't see a lot of that. Yeah, now Bush did get a shoe thrown at him. Unfortunately, the guy didn't have a good right arm. He might have connected there. See my smile? It's a little smile there. Yeah. You got to throw in some humor with it, okay? With Obama, oh my gosh, that was like hands off. Everybody walked on like sponges and marshmallows and, eggshells. Let's not upset him. I mean, so a lot of weird stuff is what I'm trying to get to. I don't mean to go all over the place, but I thought we'd address some things before we jumped into the film. And then, if you think that the people aren't going to get unruly really soon, well, it's already started. It started in other countries and it started in the U.S. They can't make up their mind in Oregon. First, they close all the beaches and everything. Then they say, oh, well, we closed the parks and the parking lots, but you can go out on certain beaches. Is that just stupid or what? So what are you going to do? Go parking in front of... And most of the time where the beaches are, guys, in Oregon anyway, there's not a whole lot of parking anyway. That's why they have these parking lots and stuff. So you're going to have all these people parking in front of people's private residences, and there ain't much of that parking. So what are they saying? In our state, we have an excuse. I'm just gonna address it. We have little brain Governor Kate. Little brain, pigeon size. Not kidding. Puts out these kind of things just like everything else she's been putting out. Just like I've been trying to get everybody in every state to get a little bit of once they declared emergency. And then in addition, the president declared all 50 states an emergency. They could be giving out some cash until these checks come through, like immediately, bam, on a SNAP card, mail it to everybody. Everybody's got SNAP, which is food stamp card, could already have it. And a little extra food stamps. Well, turns out some of the states are going to give a wee little dab. I mean, a wee little dab. But when you looked at it, it was like 30 million or 40 million or who knows, millions, guys. Not just 5 or 10 million, 30 or 40 million. That's just in Oregon. I don't know how much per your state. That comes out to a lot more than a few dollars per household. So I'm trying to keep an eye on that for everybody too. All right, so for this, we're going to jump in. I want to show you what's going on over in India, where police are police are not happy, and the people are not happy with the police. I mean, to the point to where it's not just a stick now, each other beating each other, but we're talking swords and gunplay, guys. It's like crazy.
Mike from around the world. How are you doing tonight, Mike?
Here we go. Sorry for the delay, guys. It's just one of those things tonight. Here we go.
Being termed as one of the most brazen, in fact, bone-chilling attacks on policemen that's been reported anywhere in the country of late. A group of people from a certain sect brutally attacked the cops in the Patiala district of Punjab.
And the cops were whipping with those sticks, guys. See, they're cracking on this guy's... And they got these sticks, the cops. And I think the people had just had enough, guys. Now these guys, look at this guy. He's got a sword. It's hard to make out. Yeah, these guys brought swords to the stick fight.
When they were asked to show curfew passes near a vegetable market in the early hours of the morning, the attack led to one policeman's arm getting chopped off. He was then rushed to the state capital, Chandigarh, which is about 70 kilometers away.
And yes, you did hear one policeman's arm did get chopped off even. I mean, it's brutal out there, guys. But they're not talking about that in the U.S. It's not happening. There's no violence over here. Everything's peachy. Everything's peachy. Sure it is.
To undergo an emergency surgery that lasted for several hours. On the 10th of April, as many as about 1,000 workers took to the streets in the industrial city of Surat in Gujarat, demanding to be allowed to actually go home. They said that they had run out of money and food.
And see, in other countries, just like here, but it's being covered up, people are like tired of getting locked down. In this case, these people came to do work and there's no work and they have no food. Again, we're running into this out of food thing, guys. We're going to cover a little of that. There's like lines for like 2 hours now, guys. I mean, it's getting just flat out ridiculous. Let's watch this for a minute.
And their employers had also deserted them. Now, these migrant workers who had lost their jobs and did not have any more money left with them then clashed with the police, pelted stones and also torched vehicles. Several policemen reportedly were injured and nearly about 100 migrants were arrested in this incident. It took the top police officials and also several state leaders over 24 hours to bring the situation under control.
Here's a little on the depression thing I was talking about, guys.
Away from us parents hanging out with their...
About managing depression and preventing suicide. Travis, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Our children and teenagers are being asked to step away from social situations and major milestones in their life, like sporting events, graduations, and even more. And this could be contributing to the stress and anxiety that they're potentially feeling right now. What advice would you give to teenagers and parents for supporting each other in this tough time?
Well, hearts are breaking everywhere for this fear and uncertainty that we have and what we're not able to participate in. And I just really feel so sad for all those kids and teenagers who are missing out on their sporting events and worrying about things like, am I going to miss graduation, and not being able to spend time with their friends. Especially teenagers who are they're actually wired to want to be out of the house, away from us parents, hanging out with their friends, learning how to be independent. And so it's very difficult for what we're asking them to do. So first off, I want to thank those teenagers for thinking about what's...
And let's all just cut to the chase. How many teenagers do you think are actually staying home? Okay. That's what I thought too. And that's what I know, because in our own neighborhoods, they're out there doing things, and the sun came out, so now it's summertime, guys. People are not going to stay. I went around my neighborhood, nobody's staying in the house. I mean, we are kind of social distancing to a point, but nobody's staying in the house, guys. And in the big cities, what are you going to do? And what are you going to do when you don't have air conditioner and the heat comes up? You're not going to be in there. Okay, you don't got no food. You're running out of entertainment. I mean, it's like, what are you to do? And you don't got money probably to go buy all these movies that could stream to your house. If you got streaming, you probably burned through everything Netflix already has. Because Netflix is very limited on their streaming stuff. And then there's, of course, Hulu and all these other ones. But again, if you don't have no money, how are you supposed to pay for this? That is the downfall of this. I mean, they could be taking better precautions, I think. Here's a little bit on the second wave.
Positive is herd immunity for when this likely hits again in several months.
More likely than not, it's not going to be as severe. By the time the fall hits, a lot of us will have had this already. And because I may have had it, more likely than not, I will probably get it. I'll probably be immune to it. Get it once, more likely than not, you won't be able to get it again.
And Dr. Kara Christ echoed that.
Now there's the one out. Look, supposedly you won't get it again.
Especially when it comes to the contagious factor. In winter, doctors tell me we should be prepared to see this with coronavirus too. But in what seems ironic, they say the more people that get it right now, even without symptoms, the less people that will get it later in the year. Arizonans and the United States need to be prepared for the reality that coronavirus isn't going away.
So the likelihood is high that once we get through this initial wave, we will see another wave. I'm going to say 80, 90%. I mean, I would be surprised if it didn't come back.
We spoke with both Dr. Kara Christ, the medical director for the state health department.
Ordered a lockdown.
So you heard exactly what she said, 80 or 90% for a second wave. That's high. That means we are going to get a second wave. And it's out there if you guys want to research. I just wanted to show you what they're saying. Here's China. They're getting their second wave, guys.
On Jia County in Henan province. It borders Hubei, which was the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak in China. 600,000 people have been ordered not to leave their homes unless they have official permission. The order came after an infected man came into contact with 2 doctors who then tested positive. The new lockdown has sparked fears of a second wave of infection.
Don't look like a lockdown
China
to me,
is
guys.
restarting the world's second biggest economy after months of enforced quarantine. China's foreign ministry says US officials are shameless for accusing Beijing of covering up the true picture of the outbreak. A ministry spokeswoman accused the Americans of politicizing a health issue.
We have said multiple times that slanders, smears, and finger-pointing cannot make up for the lost time. They'll only cause more lost time and lives if they continue to lie.
Just like China did at the start of the epidemic.
And of course, one side's pushing against the other side's pushing against them. You know, the funny thing is, some things have actually been buried all of a sudden. First of all, that this came out of a lab in Wuhan. Oh, that's totally buried now. It's gone. That like it never happened. You know? They're really trying to tamp down the second wave. They're not going to be able to, guys. And I don't mean to bear bad news on a nice holiday. That's why I told you at the beginning. If you don't want to watch this till tomorrow, just shut it off. Because I'm not out to ruin everybody's day, but we still need to address some things, guys. Because no matter what it is, or no matter what the deep underlying plan is, it's not going away, this part of it. However, I am still seriously taking a look at the one world order, one world government situation, along with the sprinkle of Agenda 21. This just has the feel, guys, of that kind of situation. And the more you look, this many countries, this much spreading, everybody's in their homes. I mean, I covered some different things with you guys, and I told you who's saying this and where this is coming from. I think I'm going to go over and watch some Michael. You should watch it, from Around the World with Pastor Paul. I'm hoping they put out a new video. The last one covered a lot of things, so I think we're going to cover some of that in the next video. But between one thing and another, this is not the last of what we're going to see of this Wuhan 19 monster. So with that, I'm going to end this video and jump on some more to bring you. But if you guys get any crime wave stuff or any suicide stuff, I'm definitely interested. I'll run with it. Also, if you do have mental health and you need to contact, there's numbers out there. And supposedly they are working with you guys that have that kind of problem. If you have that kind of problem, anybody could have that kind of problem right now. So it's not like I'm saying you specifically or you or anybody, but it might be your friend, your neighbor, a relative. If they're having that, you can call in on the call line, and supposedly they're going to start giving people meds back. So that's a good point, because right now is not the time to be cutting and messing with people's medications, whether it be the pain medication, Hula, the opiate farce, aka, or the mental health medications being pulled on people. And that's another thing. There's so much not being covered out there. It's kind of becoming like, remember when the election thing, it was all this Russia, 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 Russia. That's what the Wuhan monster thing has become. The Wuhan monster, Wuhan monster, Wuhan monster. And it's starting to play just like that. And that's when we start looking between the cracks for what's really going on out there, guys. Because when they're feeding you the same old line, there's a lot more going on. So I'm going to try to get to it. I will start searching a little harder tonight and see what I can come up with. And thank you for tuning in. As always, we use the Fair Use Act. Nothing here is real until the Wuhan monster is knocking at your door. And he's still knocking. As a matter of fact, he's coming back for just seconds. Take care. If it's not too late and you can afford it and find some supplies, I highly recommend you do so, because the food shortages are definitely coming. Some places it's already here. And with the truckers saying they're only loading half loads, that's serious. It's not good. And roping off certain aisles in Walmart already and other stores. What the heck? All right. I'll be back, and this is Healthcare Sucks! Over and out.